Imagine stepping off a dusty caravan route into the heart of pre-Islamic Mecca around the year 600 CE. The air hits you immediately, thick with incense, animal sweat, and the unmistakable scent of commerce. Welcome to one of Arabia's most mysterious and fascinating cities, where gods numbered in the hundreds and pilgrims traveled thousands of miles just to touch a black stone. Most people think they know Mecca, but the city that existed before Islam was something entirely different. Today, we're going on a virtual journey through this ancient metropolis, and what you'll discover might completely change how you picture early Arabian civilization. Let me paint you a picture that most history books barely touch. You're walking through narrow streets where the sound of hammering echoes from workshops, where merchants from India argue prices with Bedouin traders, and where the most sacred site in Arabia sits surrounded by hundreds of idols from across the known world. The first thing that would strike you entering Mecca is the geography itself. This isn't some lush oasis. You're standing in a valley surrounded by barren hills that seem to stretch endlessly toward the horizon. Yet somehow, this seemingly inhospitable place has become a crossroads of the ancient world. The reason becomes clear when you understand that Mecca sits perfectly positioned along the frankincense trade route, connecting the riches of Yemen and India with the markets of Syria and beyond. As you walk deeper into the city, you'd notice something remarkable about the architecture. These aren't the mud brick houses you might expect. The wealthy merchant families have built impressive stone structures, some rising several stories high. The Quraysh tribe, who control the city, live in houses that would make Roman patricians envious. Their walls are decorated with imported goods, silks from China, ivory from Africa, and precious metals worked by skilled craftsmen. But it's the diversity of people that truly amazes. Mecca in 600 CE resembles a miniature New York of the ancient world. Ethiopian merchants barter alongside Persian traders. Jewish communities bring their faith and networks of commerce. Christian monks occasionally pass through, and Zoroastrian travelers arrive from Persia. Each group adds its traditions to a growing cultural tapestry, making Mecca one of the most cosmopolitan places in Arabia. Now let's talk about what everyone came here to see, the Kaaba. But forget everything you think you know about this structure. The Kaaba of pre-Islamic Mecca is dramatically different from today. Picture a simple rectangular building, probably made of stone and wood. But what surrounds it would shock you. Hundreds of idols crowd the space around the Kaaba. Not just small figurines, but large statues representing gods from across Arabia and beyond. You'd see Hubal, the chief god of Mecca, whose statue towers over the others. There's Al-Lat, the goddess worshipped throughout Arabia, along with Al-Uzza and Manat, three female deities that commanded enormous respect. But the diversity doesn't stop there. Syrian gods stand next to Egyptian deities. Some scholars believe there were representations of Jesus and Mary among these idols, showing just how syncretic this religious center had become. The pilgrimage season would be unlike anything you could imagine today. Thousands of people pour into the valley, but they're not all here for the same reason. Some come to trade. This is when the massive markets spring up, turning Mecca into a commercial powerhouse. Others come for specific religious ceremonies tied to their tribal traditions. You'd witness elaborate rituals, animal sacrifices, and ceremonies that varied dramatically depending on which deity was being honored. Walking through the markets during pilgrimage season, your senses would be overwhelmed. Frankincense and myrrh create clouds of aromatic smoke. Spices from India create pyramids of color. Brilliant yellows of turmeric, deep reds of paprika, an exotic black pepper worth more than its weight in silver. Textiles from across the known world hang from every available space. Silk from China, cotton from Egypt, and wool dyed with precious purple from Mediterranean mollusks. Friends, if you've been enjoying this journey through the ancient world of Mecca, let me ask you something. Why haven't you subscribed yet? Why not like or share this story so others can discover it too? Your support keeps these tales alive, and there are many more stories waiting to be told. So, if you haven't already, click subscribe, give this video a like, and share it with someone who would enjoy these journeys into history. The social dynamics you'd observe would be fascinating and complex. The Quraysh tribe maintains control through a combination of religious authority and commercial power. They've positioned themselves as guardians of the sanctuary. But this isn't just a spiritual role. It's incredibly lucrative. They collect taxes from pilgrims, control the water sources that are essential for survival in this desert environment, and maintain the networks that keep trade flowing. But don't think this was some peaceful, harmonious society. Tribal conflicts simmer constantly beneath the surface. Blood feuds can erupt into violence with little warning. The concept of justice is based on tribal loyalty rather than any unified legal system. If someone from another tribe wrongs you, your entire clan is expected to respond, potentially escalating minor disputes into major conflicts. Women in pre-Islamic Mecca would surprise you with their relative freedom compared to other ancient societies. Some women own businesses, participate in poetry competitions, and even lead religious ceremonies. You might encounter female merchants conducting their own trade negotiations, or poetesses whose verses are respected throughout Arabia. The evening entertainment would be unlike anything in the modern world. Storytellers gather crowds with epic tales of tribal heroes and ancient battles. Poets compete in verbal duels that can make or break reputations. Music fills the air. Drums, flutes, and stringed instruments creating rhythms that echo off the valley walls. Beneath the color and energy of pre-Islamic Mecca lay a darker truth. Among some tribes, a cruel custom cast a long shadow, the burial of newborn daughters alive. Picture it, a father, weighed down by tribal pride and fear of poverty, carries his infant girl into the desert. A shallow pit is dug. The cries of the child rise, then fade as the sand covers her tiny body. Not every tribe practiced this, but it happened, and it became one of the darkest stains of the Jahiliyyah, the age of ignorance that Islam would soon rise to confront. This is the Mecca standing at the edge of history, an ancient city alive with gods, commerce, and culture, yet unknowingly waiting for a force that would shatter its old order. Here, in this valley surrounded by barren hills, a revelation would soon ignite that would sweep away centuries of tradition, unite warring tribes under one banner, and reshape the destiny of nations. Our journey through pre-Islamic Mecca ends here for now, but many more stories wait beyond the horizon. If this tale has sparked your imagination, don't let it fade into the desert wind. Show your support, like this video. Share it with others who love history, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you won't miss the next chapter of these ancient stories. Until we meet again beneath the stars, farewell, travelers.